Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time, Thursday night edition. Happy schedule release night. We have the Titans 2023 schedule. We have the dates for home and away. We know all the primetime games. We've got everything to talk about here with you tonight. It always makes football season feel a little more real or feel not as far away, right? And of course, we'll have rookie minicamp practices this weekend, so there will be actual Titans football players on a practice field, or I guess inside the bubble while the practice fields get redone. Either way, we've got the schedule. And so now all of us can get to, doing the various record predictions that you do at your office pool or go about and plan your road trips with your Titans season ticket holder buddies or perhaps the London game. I was surprised to learn, Bert told me, producer Bert, who is our resident Ravens fan around here, Bert told me that the Ravens aren't even getting a bye week after the London game. So you may not love the Week 7 bye the way that it's built in now, but at least you get a break after an international travel situation in ways that I just assumed all NFL teams got, but apparently not. So we're going to put the schedule up on the screen. Here it is in all its glory if you haven't seen it yet. Week 1 opening at New Orleans. I've never been there. I'm excited to go. The Chargers at home. And then at the Browns in Week 3. You get your first divisional opponent later this year at the Colts in Week 5. You won't have another divisional opponent until at the Jags in Week 11. The toughest stretch of the schedule would appear to be that span where you are 3 road games in a row at Pittsburgh, at Tampa Bay, at Jacksonville before you get your first back-to-back home games of the season, which will be the Panthers and the Colts. You have back-to-back home games twice this year, which is nice of all the different things to look at. But we're going to go through this schedule in its entirety throughout the course of this evening's show. Before we get started, need you guys to share this show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We would love that. If you're on Twitter, please retweet it in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you're on YouTube or Twitch, you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, done both of those things. Tell a friend to do the same. We're grateful to you that way. If you're on Facebook Live, you can share now to public in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Let's go ahead and get this started because I know you guys are anxious to break down the schedule, and we've got a lot of ground to cover. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the Superbook Sports Studios. I'm your host, Buck Rising, and I am proud, as always, to be presented to you by Superbook Sports. Now that we know the schedule, the betting lines can start to come out. Superbook.com is where you go. Get the best odds boost and promo bets when you download the Superbook app. Gary Ashton and the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. The Intel Edge is what you need to succeed. Go to GaryAshton.com for more information. And TrueMav Fitness in the Gulch. Your first workout is free at TrueMav.com. As a Middle Tennessee resident, go check out all of their great group workout classes or personal training with TrueMavFitness.com. So the schedule is out. We'll put it back up on the screen for you guys to take a look at and to be able to dissect and diagnose yourself. Gary says he loves the schedule. He thinks the Titans can definitely steal a playoff spot. Let's see. Weeks 4 through 6 are going to be tough. That's the Bengals at Colts and the London Ravens game before you get a bye. There's a lot of different ways that you can look at and analyze the schedule. But here's the one thing that I don't want us to do tonight, okay? Maybe Austin and Zach in the morning will have you do record predictions. We're not going to do that tonight. I don't like doing strength of schedule stuff based off last year's win-loss records because I think that shit doesn't matter. I think it matters, in fact, as little as anything humanly possible towards a season when there's so much turnover on rosters, coaches, so many different things that are not predictive based on last year's outcome. So I think that tonight we're going to diagnose the schedule in a couple of different ways. But first, I want to start with your Two Rivers Ford take, if you would be so kind. On Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch, you tell me how you feel about the Titans schedule situation with the question that I'm going to ask you as soon as I can find my text messages from Bert. How about this? In the comment section, if you would be so kind, which Titans home game are you most looking forward to on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch? Which home game are you most looking forward to based on this schedule? We will talk about it together right after I remind you that the primetime show is made possible by Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, award-winning customer service and quality American-made Ford vehicles. Nobody has been more trustworthy in Middle Tennessee than Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. So which home game are you most looking forward to at this point? Corey D. Jackson says London versus Baltimore. Let's go. That's a home game, right? I'm excited. That's probably my answer, Corey. I think that game is going to be spectacular. The Bengals, says Lewis Duffield. The Bengals, let's see when the Bengals are here in Tennessee. Week 4 here in Nissan Stadium. I know a lot of Titans fans will look forward to that to try and get one over on them. Bork says, Buck, can you not travel to Miami so you can put up with the Monday Night Football B team with the rest of us? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take my my work trip to Miami, and I'm probably going to go down. I'll probably go down Friday. I'll probably make a whole ordeal out of it because that is a Monday Night Football game, kids, and I am excited about that. One of my best friends, my college roommate, lives in one of my college roommates. I've lived with 4 other dudes for 3 years, and that'll either make you hate each other or grow you infinitely closer with those people than you ever thought you could be with any other human being. So I'm looking forward to Miami in week 14 for Monday Night Football because I've got some people to see, and of course I love Miami. I love South Florida. I think there's a couple of different things. Now the answer is probably the Ravens game for me personally because I love the London series. I love being able to cover these games, and I love being able to make these trips. But as you look through the schedule, there's a lot of different elements of this that I find to be interesting. Again, that three straight road trip stretch, that is not ideal. Now they will do that at that point after they've had the bye, and they'll have a home game against Atlanta. But the Steelers, is always going to be a tough game no matter what their situation is. And one would assume that they would be able to improve upon last year, and they still found a way inexplicably to win 9 games, much to Bert's dismay. The Buccaneers is fascinating because I have no idea who's going to be playing quarterback for them at that point. Week 10 is kind of a novelty for the Bucs game, and at Tampa Bay is going to be particularly interesting. And then the Jags, because that'll be the first divisional game that you will have had in 6 weeks. And of course, Jacksonville getting the, I guess that wasn't an upset in week 18, but pulling off the win and in situation. That'll be your first opportunity to go back down to Jacksonville and see if you can't make them pay for that. So Bork says, I didn't know the NFL even allowed 3 road games in a row. I think they've done that a couple of times to teams like the Bucs with Jameis Winston. I feel like that was a thing. Jared Gibson says we go 15-2. Yeah, see, that's why I'm not going to do record predictions. I think that shit is so dumb. You have no idea. You have no idea. Even if you're serious, Jared, which of course you couldn't possibly be looking at this roster and predict with any degree of confidence 15-2. Although if you are, God love you, because people like you keep me in business, Jared. That is a wonder to behold. But I will say that trying to, I got no interest in it. Right. I just think it's a useless exercise, and I'd rather go through and talk about these things in ways that we know how to do. Now, what are teams going to look at? Right. Teams are going to look at stretches with back-to-back home games. They're going to look to where their divisional opponents are. They're going to look where their bye week is. And this team has a bye week in week 7. Justin says, so 3 in a row isn't that bad with the mini bye. That sounds like a PR agent for the NFL, right? That's the justification. And, factually accurate, Justin. I would imagine that would be the explanation. Now, in the details that the Titans sent out officially with their schedule, I'll go some of the highlights that they pointed out when they sent us all this press release about, it wasn't quite an hour before the schedule officially went out, but they sent us a couple of things here. As you look week by week, season opener, New Orleans is going to be interesting, right? It's a road game. It's the first time that the Titans have played at the Superdome since 2015, which was Mike Mularkey's first game as interim head coach. The first home game is the Chargers. And the last time the Titans hosted the Chargers in a home opener was back in 2013, which, as a matter of fact, was a Titans win. It was the first of 2 consecutive Titans wins in that series against the Chargers, because Ryan Tannehill's first start was a win over the Chargers at home, October 20th, 2019. Chargers last beat the Titans, of course, last year. Pretty close game with Justin Herbert, the former 6th overall pick, and that should be a compelling one. Even though the Baltimore game is in London, like I do think that the home games are fascinating, right? You've got Bryce Young in week 12, which I know a lot of people are excited about. You've got the 2 rookie quarterbacks who are in the AFC South in weeks 13 and 15 with Stroud, or rather Richardson and Stroud, respectively. Seattle is, I'm curious to see what the Seahawks look like. Frankly, I'm really looking forward to watching Geno Smith with all those skill position players. So I hope everybody's healthy by the time the Seahawks get here in week 16. And then a rare home finale. Titans haven't had a home finale. I'm trying to think of the last time. I would have to go back through my notes. It's been a couple of years. But a home finale in particular is something that I don't think they've done. I don't think they've had one since maybe the COVID season. No, I don't even think that was the COVID season, because Derrick Henry broke the 2,000 yards rushing mark in the COVID season. So that would have been at Houston. Yeah, so that's an interesting schedule note just in the middle of that. And of course, their divisional opponents and the Jags coming to Nashville after you having to play the Jags in Jacksonville last year with the division on the line would be a fascination. Maserati Mac says, Buck, I think I'm going to fly from Bermuda to London to watch. Hopefully I run into you. Well, listen, Mac, we're going to have all kinds of cool stuff going on with the radio station. Obviously, I'll be there for both entities, 104.5 and Titans Radio and A to Z Sports. Bert says that you're not a real person, that you're going to fly from Bermuda to London with a name like Maserati Mac. Well, listen, if you are a real person, then I'm very envious of your entire existence, and apparently so is Bert in the comment section. 5 home games in the last 7 games, says Eric Castillo. That is another important thing to keep an eye on. That will be beneficial. Now, again, those back-to-back stretches are what's critical in there, right? Because they only had one stint in 2022 where they had back-to-back home games. It was the Texans, and then on a short week, it was the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. So they played the Texans on a Sunday, turned around that Thursday, and played the Dallas Cowboys. So they did not benefit really from the back-to-back home game because it was a short week with that Thursday night game in the middle of there. So with all that being said, I think there's a variety of different ones that you could pick from. Just a quick reminder that the Primetime Show is made possible by Superbook Sports. Plug in the promo code ATOZ, that's A2Z, for a great wager. They'll match your first bet up to $250 with that promo code ATOZ. Whether you're betting the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers tonight or the NHL postseason, Carolina trying to keep their Stanley Cup hopes alive. Superbook Sports is your place to wager no matter what time of year it is. So download the Superbook Sports app. Go to superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. Will we have some home field advantage late in the season? We were terrible at home, says Jacob Ray. Well, I mean, you were terrible. You were terrible everywhere, to be transparent, right? Like, you lost 7 straight games, so home or away, it didn't really matter. I'll pull up their 2022 schedules just so I can be specific about their home situation. So they lost to the Giants at home, right? They had a really good stretch where they ended up 7-3 and managed things okay. And then they lost They lost 7 straight, and in those 7 straight games was 4 home games. They lost to the Bengals, Jags, Texans, and Cowboys all at home last season in the middle of that 7-game stretch. So, home field advantage, I don't think it's got anything to do with home field advantage. I think it was just a shitty football team, right? I don't think there's anything to indicate that was indicative of, there were terrible atmospheres for some of the home games because it was a bad football team, right? I don't blame people for not wanting to spend their Christmas Eve when it was the coldest game on record at Nissan Stadium on Christmas Eve, where they have to delay it an hour and a half or an hour because there's power grid issues and they couldn't get that thing off the ground, right? Remember rolling blackouts before one of the Titans games. So you know, I struggle to like fault Titans fans who don't want to go to these things later in the year when, in that situation, right? I'm not going to sit there and tell you that you need to be spending your money for a week. What was the real middle of that downtrodden, right? Like when the Texans came to town on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is the best example, with Malik Willis starting at quarterback, and you can't beat the Houston Texans, who have a dual starting quarterback situation, and you fall under 500 to go 7-8. Like, I'm not mad at people who don't show up for that games, and I'm not mad at I'm never going to get mad at you guys for not going to games, because I don't spend money to go to these things. I'm paid to go to these things. I'm not going to get mad at you because you don't want to spend your money and you'd rather watch your football team at home. Like, I totally get that. So, home field advantage. The Titans have never really, there have been moments, like, I could probably count on one hand when I felt like the Titans' home field advantage actually factored in to the outcome of a game that I have covered. So this will be season number 7 for me, covering the Tennessee Titans in a full-time capacity. I could probably count 5 times, maybe 6. I'd be willing to give you a pinky finger on the second hand. I could probably count 5 or 6 times where that home field atmosphere has actually felt like a legit home field atmosphere. And listen, that's not that I'm not fan shaming or crowd shaming. I'm just saying, like, that's, from my perspective, when I travel to these road games and I see different atmospheres, some are bad, some are, like the Titans, some are, better, right? That's not uncommon. And depending on the quality of the game or the quality of the opponent or the impact of the divisional conference, whatever the case may be, like all those different things. I think that when you look at home field advantage at Nissan, it's not something that you ever count on, right? Especially with the number of opposing fans that always travel to Nashville because they want to make a weekend out of it. Jared Gibson says, Buck, the fans need to be shamed. Get louder, people. No, I mean, well, listen, they don't need to be shamed. Like, we're not going to get on a whole different tangent. We're here to talk schedule tonight. But, like, if you want to shame your fellow fan, you are entitled to do so. The person who doesn't pay for parking, doesn't pay for a ticket, doesn't have to worry about personal seat licenses or all these other things, future costs in the new stadium, because I know where my press box seat is going to be. I know that there's going to be free food behind me for 4 hours, and I know I'm there to work a game. Like, I'm not going to be the one who gets after people who don't want to spend money on a Titans game, right? Because that's not my experience. So if you guys want to bicker amongst yourselves, you're welcome to do so, but I'm not gonna give you any heat for it. I'm the last person who would do that at this point. Leo says, I lose my voice every game I attend, and some fans go that hard, right? Well, Leo, like, I love fans like Leo because they make my work atmosphere more fun. It's not, obviously the players are on the field, and it's not about the people who are there to cover the game or anything like that. But, like, I legitimately enjoy going to work when there's a great home atmosphere, and I haven't gotten a ton of those at this point. So I think Dustin Benton says you were wrong, Buck. Yes, I was wrong about the number of primetime games that they got. Did you see, Bert? I don't know if you noticed this either. I don't know why I'm talking to you like you're going to talk back to me at this point on camera, but neither the Colts nor the Texans got a primetime game this year. That was pretty surprising to me. I did not expect that the 2nd overall pick and the 4th overall pick would not be featured in a single primetime game at this point. When you look at I'll pull up both the Colts and the Texans schedule just so I can give you kind of an outlook of that. Of course, the Titans have 3 nationally televised games, 2 in primetime and 1 in London. For the Colts, looking at it at this point, and if you'll give me 1 second, I'll pull it up for you. So the Colts they have the New England game, right, on November the 12th. It's a nationally televised broadcast, but beyond that, there is nothing from Indianapolis that will be featured in prime time, to the best of my knowledge. Looking at this, the Texans did not receive a primetime game either. Looking through this, though they will, let's see their schedule as I jump from schedule to schedule here. Yeah, not they have a 3:05 game because they're hosting Denver. But other than that, they don't even have a Thursday night football game, as far as I can tell. Yeah, the Texans aren't on Thursday night football this year. Now, Sunday in week 18 is marked as TBD. So if that is a game with divisional implications, they're at Indianapolis. Perhaps they will get a primetime game out of that in Houston. But if you're a Titans fan, you should. I mean, not that this necessarily matters. As somebody who lives in Texas, the Cowboys do not deserve four primetime games. I'm surprised they got that few, to be honest with you. Everyone disrespect the Titans. Don't talk about their defense. Just want offense. Well, yeah, I mean, that's because that's the nature of the league that we live in. I'd rather watch touchdowns than tackles for loss any day. I think any rational person would who's there for the entertainment. Now, if you're talking about the competitiveness of your football team, of course defense matters. But if you're talking about what most people care about, yeah, I care about touchdowns and wide receivers and tight ends and quarterbacks as a fan, if I'm watching it as a fan. But, I understand that defense matters too. B Friend says, can we get Bert's take on the schedule? Well, Bert would give you some Ravens insights, I'm certain. But he does, in fact, tell us that they both have to play Baltimore, Houston, and Indianapolis in the first 3 weeks with rookie quarterbacks. So while Baltimore's defense hasn't been great last year, I think that would be an interesting matchup to see play out for two rookie quarterbacks in the first couple of weeks. Of course, I think it's going to be, I honestly think that this year, Trevor Lawrence is obviously the best quarterback in the division. I need to see more consistent play from him. I think he's totally capable of that. Ryan Tannehill is the most experienced quarterback by a mile. He's the old man at 34 at this stage. But I think that when you look at the Titans schedule in 2023, it's going to be tough because we still don't necessarily think that they're going to be a much different football team. They'll have better depth. We'll see how much better offensively they're capable of being and how much the changes with personnel and coordinators make. But I do think that what this ultimately will bear out is a situation that's beneficial for the Titans because of the defense. I'm sorry, forgive me, I can't remember the commenter's name, but a commenter brought up the Titans defense not being sexy. That's where the defense matters when you're trying to fluster the young quarterbacks in the early going. So let's move on and let us talk about the toughest game on the schedule at this point. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. What's the toughest stretch of the Titans' schedule? Give me your response in the comment section. We'll talk about it right after I remind you that the Primetime Show is presented by the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. Get the intel edge you need to succeed with the best in the real estate business. The best RE/MAX team in the entire world, as a matter of fact, is the Ashton Real Estate Group. Go to GaryAshton.com for the team that your favorite teams trust. That intel helps you sell your home without any showings or staging, helps you find your next home while you sell your current one in this red-hot Nashville real estate market, helps you win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity right now. Nobody is better than the Ashton team, so trust the team that your favorite teams trust at GaryAshton.com. So, toughest stretch of the schedule, Stephen Crozio says weeks 2 through 6. So we'll put that schedule graphic up there. So Chargers at the Browns, Bengals home, at the Colts, and then the Ravens in London. I almost feel like we have to keep this to like a 3-game stretch, right? Because you can't give me a sample size of 5 games and call that the toughest stretch. It's more than a quarter of the schedule at that point. Looking at a couple of different things, 4 through 6, so the 3 road games, says Bork. Amar says that I think he means to say janky London game. Well, I don't think I think it's a damn good game. I think it's what's janky about it is it's being the best game of the most compelling game is being sent overseas. Don't love that. Leo says Chargers, Browns, and Bengals. I think that's a really tough stretch. And I think that's one that a lot of people are going to judge them by, right? This is Justin Herbert. It's a home opener. Then you go to Cleveland at Deshaun Watson, his first full season playing with the Browns. And then we know the boogeyman that is the Bengals for you guys in the last couple of seasons. And I know you'd like to see them beat down Joe Burrow and Cincinnati. I think that to me, just because they are all three on the road, like it's tough to go at Pittsburgh, at Tampa Bay, at Jacksonville. A divisional opponent in there, a conference opponent in there, and a team that I don't really know what to make of them, but I'm not going to underestimate them just because their quarterback situation is bad. In theory, the Titans figure to be the better team in 2 of those 3 games, but I'm not necessarily sure which 2 that they might be the better team in at this point, because I think that Pittsburgh can really give them problems, and I'm fascinated to see what Jacksonville does as a kind of playoff run defense, right? Divisional title defense, how competent they actually are, and how much better they can get at this point, given that they need to maximize their potential with Trevor Lawrence on a cheap deal. So the 3 consecutive road games, the toughest stretch, but you do have a bye week before that. And you will have a little extra time between weeks 13 and 14, with that being a Monday night football game. Okay, that is going to do it for this. Well, actually, it's not going to do it for the schedule talk, because there's a schedule announcement. I need you to judge which of these schedule releases is better. We're going to do that together coming up next on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. The bounce back candidate in sports. Who needs to bounce back this weekend? On Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're hanging out with us, let us know who needs to bounce back in sports this weekend. And I'm going to give you an example of somebody who needs to bounce back. It's your Tennessee Titans, as a matter of fact. And it's a shame, because they did something so well, and then they ruined it with something that I thought they could completely do without. We'll get to that here in just a moment, right after I remind you that the Primetime Show is made possible by TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch. Go to TrueMathFitness.com for your first workout free. Check out all their great classes. Friday, full body sweat. Get your cardio up. It's a great class. I enjoy it so much. The great coaching staff at TrueMath always gets the most out of me on those days. It gets your Friday going great if you're an early morning workout person like I am, or if you want to get ready for the weekend, get a good sweat in. TrueMath Fitness has afternoon classes as well. If you'd rather do personal training, you have that option. They even have an open gym if you sign up for one of their membership plans. So go to TrueMathFitness.com to check out those, and for your first workout free as a Middle Tennessee resident. Okay. Looking at the the Titans, looking at how they need to bounce back. The Titans do need to bounce back, and let me tell you why. Because they put out a schedule. They put out 2 different schedule release videos, okay? One was great, and the other one was just fine. The other one you could do in any city with any number of local celebrities, and the Tennessee Titans happen to have Broadway at their disposal, and they did that just fine. Their main schedule release video went out, and it was well received. There was a lot of star power in it, and I was disappointed. Not in when I saw the video. I thought the video was quite good when I saw it the first time. I was disappointed when I saw what came after and what they relegated to TikTok. But here's the first schedule release video.
How you doing? Yeah, tonight.
NFL kickers need more money.
It's ridiculous. They're so underrated.
Crack Clouds, you all right?
Yeah.
More waters, yeah?
Yes, sir. Game on the line. It's going to be a kicker.
Yeah, let's go.
Push-ups every day. 100 push-ups a day. A lot of people are confrontational nowadays. Yeah. And so I'm going to be the one. I'll fight the next dude that touches me. Watch this dude right here. Watch this dude right here. Yeah, the next guy.
A couple more? Okay, good. Tequila? I think so. Friday?
Got your chips.
Let's get it going.
Music City, are we ready?
Bert. Nobody's going to get that joke except for us. Maybe if you watch the radio show too, but that's such a small percentage of people. You're an idiot. That was the Titans schedule release video, and that was also Lucas Panziga with a cartoon character mustache. I think that, so it was great, right? Jeff Simmons is the bouncer. You got Keith Urban to close it out. You got Jelly Roll, Drug in the Bar. You got, Nate Bargatze, comedian, Sheamus from WWE. Like, they got people all over the place, right? But then I saw the one that they put on TikTok. And I said, oh my God, they completely did themselves a disservice. They spent all this money. They spent all this time and production value getting all these famous people together and trying to put this thing on the ground. And what they should have done is what they did do, but make it their main release. They should have just taken a man on the street mic and gone on Broadway and asked people about different NFL logos, which was the way better schedule release video.
What the is that? St. Louis Rams.
Oh.
Lightning McQueen.
No. Oh, that's just the football logo.
The Boston Bobcats. No idea. No idea.
Cowboys,
Yes,
yeah.
Baltimore Orioles. This one is the Red Stallions.
49 to 69ers, 49er Cowboys.
No. Stars. It's a Pirates from the islands of the Caribbean.
Chester Cheeto.
Tigers, North Carolina Tigers. Texas, that's the Cowboys. Texas, got that. Yeah.
Atlanta,
That's it. Florida Dolphins.
Oh, Texans. Eagles. Pittsburgh. Who's that? Bulls? Who? Patriots? That's the Patriots logo. That it actually does not exist. That is Nashville, Tennessee.
Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans. Woo!
Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans. Wait, what? Good job. Yeah. Awesome.
Just, it's so much better because of how convicted both sets of women are when they say it's the Colts. It's the Colts. I know it's the Colts. Woo, it's the Colts. Or I'm sorry, it's the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys. Woo, got the Cowboys. It's the Colts horseshoe. It's hilarious. It's so much better than and listen, I know a lot of people in the first video. They're all my friends. I think they did a great job, especially Coach Mack and Jeff Fisher. Like, that shit made me laugh. But nothing. I mean, it's rare that they do something that is, well, I shouldn't say it's rare. It's that they do something that makes me laugh out loud, because I think their TikTok has been a lot better in the last couple of years. But damn, if that didn't actually make me laugh out loud watching it. So I thought that should have been, they should have just done that. It would have saved them a ton of money. It would have done just as good on social media, and everybody would have got a kick out of it because they love making fun of drunk woo girls on Broadway. Chester Cheeto, and that literally doesn't exist for the Jaguars were the two answers. So funny. All right, that's going to do it for us today. That's going to do it for us this week. It's great spending time with you guys, as always, on the Primetime Show. Listen, the Install live show with Greg Cosell of NFL Films. For all of you guys are going. For those of you who haven't got your tickets yet, I got to tour the venue, the Hutton Hotel, the Analog in the Hutton Hotel for the first time today. Guys, this place is badass. Like, I'm not even trying to sell you on anything. Like, I am legitimately fired up. I am so excited. I needed this because I've been stressing about, throwing an event and all these different things, planning and logistics and getting Greg down here from Philadelphia and, actually planning the show and hosting 2 hours with a live audience and all these different things. I'll be honest with you, I've been so anxious about it. It's been driving me insane. But the boost of serotonin that hit me when I walked through the doors at the Analog today, I was like, this is exactly what I needed it to be. And it's the only thing that I don't have to worry about with all these other, 9,000 things that are going on with the live show. So I'm hype about it. We've sold a ton of tickets. You guys have shown up and shown out. We can't wait to hang out with you. If you guys want to be in on all the fun, we've got so many special guest plans. We've even got the A to Z Sports Film Room group helping out. We're going to have live B-roll rolling on monitors all over the place. We're going to have monitors in different areas for you guys to watch Greg break down tape in real time. Greg's fired up about it. We're even going to have an after party for those of you who want to go slum it with us afterwards because it's right near Midtown. And you know that my favorite bar, Tin Roof on Demumbrian, is in Midtown. It's walking distance, so I think we might get into some trouble afterwards and have a great time. Dustin Benton says, what day is it, Buck? It's next Saturday. Go to Bert, if you would drop the link in the chat again, if you would be so kind as to do so. Sorry to ask you to do that last minute for people. But it is May the 20th. That is next Saturday. The doors open at 6. The show starts at 7. There's going to be a bar. There's going to be food. There's going to be there's so many great elements of this place that I literally cannot wait. I'll be honest, I've been dreading it because, you stress about these things. If any of you have ever planned an event before, you know what a nightmare it can be, especially something where you are asking people constantly to show up because, people got a billion different things to do in their lives. And so why should they take time out of your day to do it, out of their day to do it? But I cannot wait to get people in there to see this venue. And I know that the production quality of it is going to be badass. So can't wait to have you guys there for a great breakdown of the 2023 draft class. In fact, the radio station has even produced a little bit of a video to get you guys excited for it. And one that I know you guys, in fact, we're going to end the show with it today. Go to 1045thezone.com if you haven't got your tickets, or Bert dropped the link in your individual live stream chats for those of you who would like to participate. Like I said, it's going to be a fantastic evening, and we cannot wait to have you guys there at the Hutton Hotel, the Analog in the Hutton Hotel, May the 20th. The doors open at 6, and the show begins at 7. So am I going to wear a suit? I was asked, Greg was asking me what we should wear to this thing. I don't know if I'm gonna go all out like game day attire, or if I'm gonna keep it casual, because we're there to talk ball. You guys probably a lot of you guys are gonna be wearing like Titans jerseys and stuff like that. Like, it's just gonna be loose. We're chopping it up. We're having fun. We're drinking. We're breaking down tape. Like, I think that I probably think I keep it casual at that point. But I'm a little extra, so maybe a little extra casual on my side of things. But we'll send you on the way out the door with the promo video that the radio station put together. Get those tickets, and we'll see you Sunday night when we come back and talk to you for A to Z Sports Primetime. If you're a fan of the Tennessee Titans, the Install Live Show with Greg Cosell of NFL Films coming up Saturday, May the 20th at the Hutton Hotel. Get your tickets right now at 1045thezone.com to hear the best breakdown of Will Levis.
Really, really excited and thankful for the opportunity.